the end of the day, we want to help people. We want to help people financially. We want to help their health. We want to help all these amazing people that we're surrounded with. We want them to help them achieve their dreams and help provide that. And as Jake was talking about, are a lot of people that are facing imbalance. I mean, I think in literally anyone you talk to in this world, if you ask them, has your life ever felt out of balance? Has your health ever felt out of balance? Literally everyone is going to raise their hand. And a little side note, that's why activation is for everyone. It's not just for a certain group of people. It's not just for this group over here. It's literally for everyone you see, from the young to the old. Everyone can use activation because everyone has experienced this out of balance. And let's go ahead and move to the next slide as we talk about that out of balance and what that looks like. Because that's really just this gradual shift in how the body responds. So you're going to feel that like your body isn't doing the same work. It's doing the same work, but it's just doing it less efficiently and with slower recovery. You just feel like you're kind of trudging through mud as you're trying to do everything. And the sad thing is that the people that you surround yourself with, they think this is normal. They think that they are stuck in this slogging. They are stuck with how their health is today. They are stuck not being able to do the things they want to do, that this trajectory is inevitable. There's this slower processing speed, less clarity and focus, slower recovery, stiffness, loss of muscle mass, lower energy. It goes on and on and on. You can see it on the slide. They think that they are stuck there, but thankfully, the answer is they are not. And moving on to the next slide, this kind of envisions this crazy little graph you're going to see, and it's just showing the swirl. I just call this the swirl because a lot of people with their health, it can feel like you're always reacting and never ahead of the game. Like you're always just dealing with, oh, I'm dealing with this, whack-a-mole, dealing with this, whack-a-mole, dealing with this, whack-a-mole, and you never get ahead. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. You can never focus on the things you really want to focus on because you're always worried that something else is going to pop up and derail everything. You're always reacting. You're never getting to the root of what is going on. Moving to the next slide, and I absolutely adore this slide because this is at the heart of what we stand for as we create products, getting to the root issues. It's the word, it's activation, the take it to make it, we're getting to the root issues. Because we know that healthy cells make healthy tissues, make healthy organs, make healthy systems, make a healthy body. So if you get to the root, you get to those healthy cells, you're going to have a holistic, system-wide impact on your health. You're going to escape always just reacting, playing whack-a-mole to everything. You're going to get out of the constant swirl. You're going to get out of the thought that this is inevitable, that you're never going to be able to live the life you want to. You're not going to be able to play with your children. You're not going to be able to go on that walk. You're not going to be able to go on do that trip you've always wanted to do. You have all of these limits, all of these hurdles. But if you get to the root issue of what's going on, those hurdles, they start falling away. And all you have is this road to a healthy living, the health that your body was made to have. Your body knows how to be healthy. It's in your DNA. But so much happens, like we were just talking about. And we just need to partner with your body, help remind it, help support it to remember how to be healthy by getting to the root, because healthy cells make healthy tissues, make healthy organs, healthy systems, healthy bodies. And that's what we want for everyone surrounding us. And let's go ahead and move on to the next slide.
Lisa, I can take this one. Thanks, everyone, for being on tonight. The energy, the excitement is so exciting. I can't believe that there's over 1,500 of you on this call. I can't wait to kind of share the next slides and what we're going through. And I feel like kind of going back to what Kristen talked about the triangle of like, you need the right products to build the right systems to get the right rewards. And I feel like part of that system is so important. And we know that life comes at you every day. I think Valencia said it best, is like, life takes a toll on you. The fact that she was commuting for 6 hours a day, when I look across the 1,500 of you out there today, knowing that it's late at night for some of you already, I'm sure life has already taken a toll on you today. But I think what's so important is getting those products that help, and sort of what Lisa was saying, getting to the root issues of that. So we have some amazing products to share, and we've got something that will help give you the edge to sort of help tackle that day. So if you want to move to the next slide, I feel like our first is the original breakthrough of Protandim NRF2, where you make antioxidants. As Lisa says, this really gets to the root cause of your issues, oxidative stress, aging. We know that it can take a toll on you and that it is brutal. And so we really want to crank up like what the body can do itself naturally. And how do you do that? By taking NRF2 and making antioxidants. So they are 1 million times more powerful than any supplement that you can take. And that is what I love about our company, is that we actually activate, we repair those cells and fight the signs of aging at the source. And so that is just one of our products. I am going to call this like our 1-2 punch. If we move to the next slide, I feel like the next one is Love Biome's P84, where you take it and you make key gut peptides. And we're going to learn more in this presentation of why that is so important. But this is like the ultimate offense. It helps you activate and repair, restore, regulate to the balance to the gut. And why is that so important? A lot of you don't know that your gut is your key communication system. It connects to everything in your body. It has a million different tentacles that go to all the different parts. This is a crazy sort of fun fact too, but it is 30 feet of your body. Think about that. Think about, like, I am not that tall. I am 5'4". 30 feet of my system is my gut. And that's why it's so important to activate it and so important to have it in balance, to make sure that all the other systems are working correctly within your body. Go to the next slide. So can you imagine the possibilities if we combine these two together? Like, think about that. Something that gets down to your cellular level as well as your system level, has all systems talking. I feel like it's the foundation of health and why it is so important. You know, Seth talked about the freedom that this company can bring you, the freedom that you have, but none of that's any good if you're not feeling great. You know, like it's great to know that I have the freedom, but if I can't get down and play with your kids on the ground, or if you can't play with your grandkids, I feel like some of it doesn't feel like it's so much. A lot of people talking about, you know, the age you are versus the age you feel, and why it's so important to have this foundational health. So if you can imagine these two systems combined together, and if we move to the next slide, that is really what we are talking about. And what does that look like, foundational health? A lot of people might say what it is, but in sort of like, what does it really mean and why is it so important? And a lot of people will too talk about aging, and it's like, oh, I can't do anything about it. They might have like a relaxed approach to it in terms of like, it's just going to happen. But what I love about these two products is it leaves you in control. You are in charge. You can proactively fight this. And it feels like ease rather than effort. You know, we talk about every day we come home, we're exhausted, and now I have to do something else and take something else and figure something else out. But it doesn't feel like that when all systems are running and like everything's just running smooth. It feels like foundational health. You get clarity instead of confusion. Lisa talked about, you know, it's like whack-a-mole, right? Like trying to find out what's wrong. Is this system impacting this system? Like it just feels blurry is how I look at it. Like I'm living in a blurry movie. And then when everything is working great, you feel like, oh, there's color, there's vibrancy. You get strength and confidence from this. And most importantly, it feels like you have control. You can take a proactive approach versus a reactive approach to your foundational health. So you can get an edge on health. You can make that difference. You can be proactive in how you choose to care for yourself. Moving to the next slide. We look at this as foundational health. So this is, again, think of it as the 1-2 punch. This is NRF2, the discovery that changed everything, the original breakthrough, plus the addition of P84. And this is emerging science that connects everything. So there's still things, you will learn about things every day from the gut and how different parts of your body are working together. This is what we're calling the emerging science. So our breakthrough science that still holds true today and is making people feel better at that cellular level, combined with the emerging science, is sort of this like 1-2 incredible health punch that everybody is going to be so excited for. Move to the next. So we're going to say meet a healthy edge, how you can get an edge on life. So it's the edge that helps tackle what the day has in store. And why? because we've heard life is hard. It really does take a toll on your body. Emotionally, it takes a toll physically, and everything down from the cellular level all the way up to the system levels, and everything with diet, stress, environment, lack of sleep. It just can overwhelm your body. And we know that when it overwhelms your body, it happens fast. It's like in the blink of an eye, and it looks like brain fog, low energy. It's kind of that whack-a-mole. You don't know why you're feeling the way you do. You just know that you have poor immunity, poor digestion. Like everything just feels like, it's falling apart and you don't know how to get through the day. It is exhausting. And as people said, it takes years off of life. So how do you get ahead? You find that edge. You be proactive. You give what your body needs and also makes naturally to optimize your cell, ensure proper communication so that you can avoid that burnout. So you want the best version of yourself to show up every day so that you can be there for your friends, your family, your kids, whatever energizes you, and be there revitalized, optimized, and restored. I'm going to move to the next slide. And so like we said, life is hard. And how do you win that fight? I feel like every fight, you need to have strategy. And what does strategy look like? It's sort of different for everyone, but I like to think of it also as like offense and defense, right? Like you go into every day, you might wake up in the morning of like, how am I going to tackle this day? What am I going to do? You think through all the different scenarios. And what I love about this Healthy Edge is that it does the thinking for you. So we're going to think of it as like football. It's the season. I feel like it's fall. Everyone's super excited. And so you're going to want to meet your defense. This is Protandim NRF2 Synergizer. It protects the body at the cellular level, making antioxidants naturally. It balances that oxidative stress and free radicals. So this is the root cause of what Lisa was talking about. Healthy cells make healthy tissues, make healthy organs, make healthy systems. I also like to think of the defense as like the original 1975 Steelers, for those that are into football. The curtain steel, nothing got by them. It was like the best defense ever known to man. And that is what you want on your team every day to show up to win the fight. But with every defense, you also need an offense. And what does that offense look like? We argue around the office here, but I am going to say the greatest offense in football was like the greatest show on turf in the 1999 St. Louis Rams. I see the comments. I know there's a lot of people. You can argue the 2013 Broncos as well, but I'm still going to St. Louis Rams. And what does that mean? The offense for your body is to really fire up your body's second brain by producing key peptides that help regulate, repair, and restore your gut. And why is this so important? Because you heard there's like a slog that you go through every day, and you really want to break out of that cycle. Alone, these power products are extremely powerful, but together they offer that 1-2 complete strategy that is like undefeatable by restoring your cells and your system communications. It is 24/7 peak performance that provides that foundational health that is so key to enjoying your life throughout your entire body so you're ready to fight life's daily battles. Moving to the next. And what is it different? So this is really where we differentiate. We are the activation company. So you take this Healthy Edge stack, you are making that antioxidants at the cellular level, plus your key gut peptides that regulate your whole communication system. So again, this is way more powerful than any supplement that you can take because you are activating what is naturally occurring in your body. It's keeping your cells in balance. It is helping you regulate, repair, and restore balance to your ultimate communication hub. Like I said, it is your always on 24/7 offense and defense where your body is constantly monitoring, adjusting, responding to those daily onslaughts of life. And so we kind of helped, right? Everyone's like, oh, this is a lot of information. So if I had to narrow it down, I'm a list person. Like, what are the top 5 reasons I would tell people of why Healthy Edge really helps you get the edge on life? 1, it is simple. It is convenient. It is easy. You set it up in the morning and like, you don't have to worry about anything the rest of the day. Like nothing is more simple than that. We are hearing every day, like people are busy. They don't have time to think. You need a simple, easy, convenient solution, and the Healthy Edge is it. The second is the original breakthrough in that emerging science. So again, we're constantly here. You heard before, it's about the science, it's about the products, but we're always investing. Lisa's team is always constantly creating, checking what the latest and greatest is, and our products still have that. So this is, again, that original breakthrough, the one that started it all, that started so many companies on their journey, and then that meets that emerging science. And you will hear about this a lot too. It's the right ingredients in the right amounts. So everyone's can sort of, you could take anything, but it's really key and essential. And you will hear from Lisa later on of like how much research goes into this to make sure that it is exactly what your body needs. Nothing more, nothing less, and the right ingredients in the right amount, which is like why it's so important. That proactive versus reactive approach. You don't have to sit down and take aging. Like you can be proactive about it. You can do something about it. You are in control of your body, and it is laying the foundation for health, which is like what everybody is after and what everybody wants. And what I love most about the Healthy Edge is that it is that constant 24/7 offense and defense. We've already heard life hits you hard. It is exhausting. I tell people like some days it feels like I've taken years off my life, but this is that ultimate offense and defense system that helps you really get that edge. And lastly, I just want people to remember, and sort of what Jake mentioned in the beginning, every body is different. We're like unique fingerprints. Not every one person is going to be the same. So you might start taking these products, and I just want to remind people, it's not a magic pill, and everyone might start on their journey in a different place. Some people might feel really healthy, start feeling the effects even greater right away. Others might be starting from a place of they need a little bit more help with their gut system or their cellular levels. And so it might take them a little bit longer, but you will feel results. That is what's so amazing about this 1-2 punch in this stack is like you should be on the lookout for positive results. And what does that look like? It's what we talked about before. Better sleep, better digestion, better immunity. There's so many different benefits to this 1-2 punch that I can't wait for everyone to try it. I can't wait for everyone to get it because again, it is just a total comprehensive approach to your health that allows you to be in control of how you feel. And so we're going to get into a little bit more, but I feel like a lot of people on this call already know about NRF2, but I feel like I want to take a minute just to remind people again. The original breakthrough reduces oxidative stress by 40% in just 30 days. I feel like it produces enzymes capable of neutralizing more than 1 million free radicals. Again, this is something your body knows how to do what it needs to do. And so these are the things that help make it. You take this and it helps activate you at that cellular level. It supports the body's natural ability to repair and rejuvenate its own cells. So it's really helping the body detoxify genes and regulate it at its survival genes. I feel like this is the ultimate like activation. It's the original breakthrough. But we didn't just stop there. When we talk about the Healthy Edge, we wanted to know what else can we activate. So I'm going to turn it back over to Lisa to walk you through that.
Okay, so this is the question that we always ask ourselves on my team because we're never satisfied with what we've created. We're never done because then we'd be out of a job. We always are looking at how can we activate more things in the body so that we can overall help increase wellness. Like we never want to be done. And so the question we asked ourselves is what else can we activate? And you can already see here on the slide one of the holes that we had in our portfolio. Now that's not to say that we did not have some fantastic gut products in our LifeVantage portfolio, ProBio, Prebio, Daily Wellness, but we never truly had a gut activator. So something that we were always looking at, could we activate this? And the answer you'll see very soon is yes. But before we go into that, I want to talk about why it's important. So second name for the human gut is our second brain. Essentially, that's because it is so incredibly important. And as Wendy talked about, there are all those tendrils going to all of the systems throughout the body. It's an essential player in the body. It's orchestrating, communicating, and connecting all of those systems. If it's not firing, then you see all of those lapses in communications with all of the rest of the pieces of the body. And we know that that happens because it gets out of balance with age, diet, medication, stress, lack of sleep, all the things that everyone experiences. And that leads to some things that people may not realize are tied to their gut, but it truly is. Energy, skin problems, mood swings, brain fog, immunity issues, gas, bloating, stress, all of these things that are tied back to the gut and why you truly need to activate it. And let's move to the next slide. So we'll have a little bit more information on there. So before we go into anything more, let's have some key terms. I know we have some people that have done the biology and know all this. Some of us haven't looked at a biology book since maybe high school. So we're just going to level set right here. What is the gut? Let's start with the gut itself. It's the in to the out. We've been using some more technical terms on some of the calls, but I want to stick with the in to the out. You can imagine it's that 30 feet that we were talking about. I saw a video, I think on Facebook that Marcy Nettles did. She had like a garden hose and she was like, this is 30 feet long. Can you imagine this being within you? It's incredible. It's the in to the out, and it's responsible for digestion, absorption of nutrients, elimination of waste. Then we have within it the gut microbiome. And then that's the complex community of microorganisms that live within the gut. If you don't look at the gut microbiome, then you're missing a key part of gut health. Gut health is so complex and has multifacets. And we're going to be talking a lot about them on the next few slides. But then there's gut peptides. Now, as I've been doing some of these calls and talking to people, one of the first things people have been saying to me is, wait, we activate peptides? And some of you know, I've seen it in the chat, we have activated other peptides before, but we can activate peptides in the gut. And there are gut peptides that we make. And they are incredibly powerful, and they regulate, repair, and restore the gut. So if we can make them, and we know that they get out of balance with all of the factors that we talked about on the last slide, then there's a really strong opportunity for us to activate them. And the statement here is, we can activate the gut. So let's, actually, before we move on, I want to tell a little bit of a story before we get too distracted by some of the P84 information, because I talked about, we asked the question of what else can we activate? The gut was a really strong contender because of the things I mentioned on the last couple of slides. Important hub for communication, connecting to everything. If it's out of balance, you're really truly feeling the fuzz that we were talking about, the out of balance, the whack-a-mole. So whenever we have that question, there's a couple of options that my team can do. We can create something that will activate whatever target. So in this case, the gut, or we can find something. Now, most of the time we end up making something, but in this case, we had a wonderful opportunity that we were brought. Now, I want you to know that we never just grab a product and we're like, okay, we're gonna go. Or Steve didn't just go, hey team, we're doing this. It's just gonna be out there, deal with it. Thankfully, Steve is a much better leader than that. And he brought us in almost immediately. And he's like, hey, we're looking at this wonderful business opportunity, this wonderful partnership, fantastic leadership, both on the corporate side and on the consultant side. But we need to know your thoughts about the products, because we have a very strong differentiation here at LifeVantage. I mean, if I asked you, I know you could put it in the chat. It's activation. It's the take it to make it. And the key product for Love Biome was P84. And the question was, is P84 an activator? And Steve said, if it's not, then that's a big deal. That's not a thing we just get over. That's a deal breaker. That's something we would have to work through. And so he said, okay, Lisa and team, like go in there, dig in, and let me know your thoughts. So if you know me, I am very thorough. And so I immediately created a spreadsheet that has all of the tabs. So I know some of you in the chat can feel me about those spreadsheets with all of the tabs. And I dug into every single aspect of this formula. I looked at every ingredient, all the sourcing, all the claims, everything that had been done, what strains were used, what fruits and vegetables were used, what were they standardized to, what are they known for, how were they put together, all of the pieces. And so I started there, and I had a lot of confidence in what I was seeing, a lot of wonderful ingredients put together in the right amounts. But there was something else that I did. And I was a little bit sneaky about this because I was the only one from my team who knew about this. None of my team, Christina didn't know, Rob didn't know from my R&D team. And I said, hey guys, come in for this brainstorm meeting. No idea about what's going on. And I said, okay, theoretically, we want to create a gut activator. Okay, how would you build it? Here's my whiteboard over here. Go. What aspects, what ingredients would you do? What would you want this product to do? How would you build it? Create your vision. And I just sat back because I wanted to see what would the brilliant minds of my team create. And I sat there and I watched them, and they put up one thing after another on the board. And I'm like, that's in P84. Ah, that's also in P84. Look at that. That approach is also P84. We're talking about this in very similar language. They had no idea. They were painting something very similar to P84, and they didn't know till much later. And so what I did is that gave me a lot of faith, because my team is brilliant, and I absolutely trust them 100%. Their brains are fantastic, and they know activation in and out. And the fact that the vision that they painted was so close to this P84, that partnered along with my own research of the formula, knowing all the details about it, gave me such confidence to be able to go to Steve and be like, yeah, this is going to be an activator. and be able to proceed forward with everything with this partnership. Because if you know me, and I've talked a lot with you guys, if I don't believe in something, I can't talk about it. And Steve knows that as well. And so I needed to believe in this 100% so I could talk about it and represent my team. And I do. This is a fantastic formula, and we're finding out more and more about it. And we're going to talk about that in a few more slides. So let's go ahead and move to the next slide. Now that I've given you the deep diving, the detective work we did, we can talk about P84. So with P84, here's some more details, because I know people have been wanting the things. So with P84, you're going beyond the supplementation, you're activating gut health. Now here we see thoughtfully selected whole food, fruit and vegetable blends. We have probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics, digestive enzymes. What you need to think about this is comprehensive. I love to attack this problem through multiple points of view, multiple avenues, multiple mechanisms of action. You've heard me speak, you hear me talk about that. That's what this does. We are tackling comprehensive gut activation through multiple venues. And when you put all of these ingredients that are in the right ingredients in the right amounts, when you put them together, you are activating these master gut peptides. And they do 3 key functions. They're the 3 R's, and this is an easy way to kind of remember some of the key functions of what these peptides do. So first, regulate. So let's go ahead and stay on this slide. Regulate, we're going to control the digestion, nutrient absorption, immunity, barrier function, hormone function, communication, all of these huge functions within the gut. Gut peptides control those. Repair, gut peptides help repair the gut, including the gut lining. When you have that stress and energy or injury, it helps to calm those overactive responses to food, bacteria, and helps protect those tissues. And then our third R is restore. You're keeping your gut calm and strong. Your gut peptides are helping to create the right environment for healthy bacteria to thrive, so you can restore that balance. Now, moving to the next slide, we're going to dive into each of these R's. You have a little bit more of an idea of what they are and some of the ingredients that are connected to them. So regulation, why do you care? Well, regulation is all the job that your gut does, the things you don't think about but are incredibly important to your quality of life, your digestion, your nutrient absorption, immunity, all the things I talked about. When your gut doesn't have this, things stink. Nutrients can't be absorbed. You're going to have occasional diarrhea or constipation. Your gut barrier weakens, and you're going to accelerate everything. So those green and orange nutrients, and just a few of them are mentioned there: spinach, broccoli, chlorella, carrots, papaya, sweet potatoes. Those ingredients and the key bioactive compounds within them, that's the key, is what are contained within these powerful whole foods. They activate peptides that the gut needs to stay focused and on task to do this regulation. So the green and the orange. Moving on to the next slide, we have our second R, which is repair. Now, I asked why that matters, but that should be pretty obvious. If something's broken, you need to fix it. Otherwise, you're just going to stay in a state of disrepair. But there are special cells that are called epithelial cells, and they're protective cells that line your gut. They're going to act like gatekeepers, letting the good things in and keeping all of the harmful things out. But these cells, like all of the cells in our body, can get out of balance. And when they do that, they overreact to stress and threats. So how do you help bring those cells back into balance? You have your red and purple nutrients. So you see the list there again: pomegranate, rosehip, tomato, blueberries, blackberries. We see the rainbow here, red and purple. These nutrients and their bioactive compounds that are contained within them activate the gut peptides that help calm these protected tissues, and they are helping to restore cell signaling and communication. So we've had gut peptides that regulate, gut peptides that repair, and then on the next slide, we have our gut peptides that help to restore. And so with restoring, why it matters: peptides are helping to create that right environment for your healthy bacteria to thrive. We were talking about that gut microbiome. It's a key, necessary part of within your gut. If you aren't taking care of that, a key component is not functioning the way it should. And it's used to help connect systems throughout the body. So when you're out of balance, you're going to have bloating, skin outbreaks, brain fog, things I'm sure every one of you know people who deal with these. And so the solution within P84 are the diverse probiotics, the prebiotics, the postbiotics, and the digestive enzymes. All of these are ensuring that nutrients are broken down and absorbed. And we're activating these peptides that also help to prepare this environment. Because it's not only about the microbiome, it's about the mucosal layer, and there's multiple components within the gut. It's a complex organ. but these gut peptides are essentially running the show and keeping everything moving. And so when you have this restored microbiome, you have stronger synergies with other health systems and additional health benefits. And so moving on to the next slide, I want to talk a little bit about vision. Because we have been talking, and we talked about this at our global convention, I believe it was our 6 A's. We talked about all the care we put into vetting our formulas and doing all of our research and everything. And one of our A's, and I always talk about this is my favorite A, is advancing the science, because we don't just launch a product and leave it. We launch a product and love it to death, because we want to keep making sure that it's cutting edge. We want to ensure that you are always knowing the capabilities of our formulas, and you always have something really powerful to talk about that's relevant in the world today. And so with our P84, I talked about the vetting process on my end. I talked about the vetting processes kind of unknowingly from my team, and then knowingly after they knew about what we were doing, and how we felt very strongly that it was the right ingredients in the right amounts. But we're LifeVantage. We don't stop with just putting the right ingredients in the right amounts. We validate and validate and validate. So next up, and this is actually what's happening currently right now, is we are validating, quantifying specific regulatory, repairing, and restoring gut peptides, the ones I was talking about in the 3 last slides. So we're going to name them, we're going to quantify them through in vitro analysis, and we're going to have that available. We already have data coming in, and it's incredibly exciting. So another reason you should go to Momentum Academy, because it's going to be incredible. Then we don't stop there, because we don't only want to test an individual product, we want to test our synergies, because you activate one area of the body and you activate another, you're going to see the synergies. Like we've been using this word synergy. We're going to test them out. We're going to use mRNA sequencing. We're going to discover and patent the synergies. It's the 1 + 1 = 5, 6, 7, not the 1 + 1 = 2. And we're going to look at the synergies with P84 and NERV2 and then P84 and MB. So we're going to have some of that by January. And then we're going to follow that up, because we love our cell studies, but we also love our double-blind, placebo-controlled, gold standard human clinicals, and that's going to come as well. Because you're going to hear, the more and more you talk to LifeVantage individuals, you're going to hear their testimonies, you're going to hear their stories, you're going to hear the powerful reason for why they've been with LifeVantage, and they've grown so fast and they've changed so many lives. And we're going to just validate that in this setting. So we're going to look at subjective questionnaires. We're going to quantify the peptides in blood work, and we're shooting for that next year. And so P84 is one of our heroes, and we're treating it just like that. And you're just going to see the validation continue to pour in. We are incredibly confident that what has been put together, and from what we've even already seen from preliminary data, it's doing exactly what we knew it would do. It's doing exactly. It's an activator for the gut, and it's comprehensive gut health. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. But what I want, because we talked about NERV2 and we talked about P84, but I want to leave you with this slide, because you have this, you're going to have this powerful tool within your hands. 2 amazing products for Tandem NERV2, that original breakthrough, PhytoPower 1 and 2, or P84, as that emerging research, emerging science. And when you put them together, you have activation of antioxidants and activation of these gut peptides. You're activating cells, you're activating systems. It's incredibly powerful, and it's really going to help you get the edge on health and make a big demonstrable difference